Our show. Now, after the Chinese balloon in American airspace sparking a fresh diplomatic rift with Beijing, an American fighter jet has shot down a new unidentified object drifting 40,000 feet high over Alaska this week. A White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said that it was unclear what the purpose or origin of the new object was, but confirmed that it was taken down because it was posing a threat to civil aviation. And US officials claim that such balloons have flown over 40 other countries that include India, Japan, Taiwan and the Philippines. Now, the Pentagon has said that the spy balloon passed over the United States at least 4 times in the past. And Beijing has rejected US allegations that it sent the balloon to spy on the United States and said it had simply drifted by accident into US airspace. Now, the Chinese balloon last week sparked particular concern as it overflew areas where the United States keeps nuclear missiles in underground silos and bases strategic bombers. The incident led US Secretary of State Antony Blinken to cancel an imminent trip to Beijing.
At the direction of the President of the United States, fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command successfully took down a high-altitude airborne object off the northern coast of Alaska at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today within U.S. sovereign airspace over U.S. territorial water. On February 9, North American Aerospace Defense Command detected an object on ground radar and further investigated and identified the object using fighter aircraft. The object was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet and posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight. U.S. Northern Command is beginning recovery operations now. We have no further details about the object at this time, including any description of its capabilities, purpose, or origin. The object was about the size of a small car, so not similar in size or shape to the high-altitude surveillance balloon that was taken down off the coast of South Carolina on February 4.
Mr. Heiner Klink, who is a former diplomat and international defense policy expert, joins me live from the United States. Many thanks to you, Mr. Klink, for joining in on World 360. Now, considering defense and intelligence officials have told the Washington Post that China has also targeted India, Japan, Philippines, Taiwan, even Vietnam, using these spy balloons in the past, what does China's surveillance mean for the rest of the world?
Well, I think the very simple conclusion is that this surveillance program is just another illustration of China's malign intent and the fact that its policies are becoming more and more aggressive and frankly destabilizing.
All right. Mr. Klink, the deployment of the Chinese balloon at a delicate juncture, that too when the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken was set to visit Beijing, but of course he eventually cancelled that visit. It's being viewed as a blunder by China. Does this throw light on Chinese President Xi Jinping's authority and competence as a head of state?
Well, it depends on your perspective. So what you just stated is one perspective. Another perspective could be that this was in fact a decision made at various echelons within the Chinese military, the Chinese Communist Party, the Chinese state that reflect their growing arrogance, quite frankly, and their growing risk tolerance. Because again, not only was one balloon discovered flying over the United States and Canada, but there was another balloon discovered flying over Latin America. So one school of thought is that this was at best clumsy.
All right.
I would say that there's at least one additional school of thought that says that this is dangerously arrogant and again reflective of a regime in Beijing that is continuing to just flaunt international norms and international standards of behavior.
All right. Fair enough. Now, how do you weigh in on President Biden's remarks on Russia and China in his State of the Union address? What, in your view, was the president's message for autocratic governments applying power outside their borders?
So the president's State of the Union address on Tuesday night, frankly, was in my opinion, short on foreign policy, and very specifically short on highlighting to the American people not just the challenge that the People's Republic of China present, but quite frankly, the threat that they present. We have to remember that, on Saturday, that was the first time since Imperial Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor that the U.S. military shot down a foreign aircraft in its airspace. Historically, that's very significant. And I think the fact that the president only devoted, I think, just a little over 1 minute out of a 73-minute speech to talking about China is, I think, disappointing, quite frankly. I believe that the People's Republic of China is the generational threat that we are facing.
All right. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Mr. Heinefling.